Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachelle Glendon. It is lovely to have you here. So today's video is going to be about my experience with having an iron transfusion to treat iron deficiency anemia in pregnancy. I'm currently almost 29 weeks pregnant. And yeah, so that's what I thought I would share today. I had an infusion yesterday, so I wanted to run through how that happened, how I got to be anemic, how I made the choice to have an infusion over other treatments, what the infusion was like, and how I'm feeling now. So for me, I've always struggled with my iron levels, and for some reason I just don't seem to be able to hold on to iron, doesn't matter what I do with my diet. So the only way that I've ever been able to get higher iron levels is through iron tablets, and even that I've found, like, I do tend to get complacent. So once Max was born, my iron levels continued to be low even through that breastfeeding period, and then when I knew that it was about 6 to 12 months before I wanted to start trying for another baby, I started to look at ways that I could improve my health and increase my nutritional values in my body as much as possible in time for conception. So one of the first things that I did was have a blood test. My friend Tanya from Naturally Nourished, who is a naturopath, and she said, yes, your iron levels are low still. We'd really like to get them up, not even just for pregnancy, but just because, you know, for your own energy. So I started taking Iron Sustain, and that's the Bioceuticals one. Comes in a little bottle with 30 tablets, and you can take it every day. Yeah, so what the doctors say is that anything below the level of 30 would be considered low. So I'm always generally around the 25 mark, even with tablets. Right, so then it came time, I became pregnant, and I had my 12-week scan and blood test, and my levels were sitting at 50 through taking the Iron Sustain. So I have never had levels that high in my life, so that was actually amazing. So that was in October when I was about 12 weeks. So for some reason, subconsciously, I decided that, oh, I'm fixed. So I started to forget to take a tablet here or there. And at Christmas time when we went away, I didn't even take my tablets with me. So I had 2 weeks basically where I didn't have any. Then we went away to New Zealand in January, and the same thing, I didn't have my tablets with me, and that was a mistake. That was the worst decision I could have ever have made. So when it was 28 weeks, I did the glucose tolerance test, as you do when you're pregnant, to test for diabetes, and that all came back fine, and that was last week that I had that done. That all came back fine. However, the doctor said, look, your levels have dropped from 50 in October down to 7 now, which is the lowest I've ever had. So obviously this baby is taking every last little bit of nutritional value that I have in my body. So she said, look, there are 2 things you can do. You can take the really strong tablets and try to get your levels up, or we can give you an iron infusion. And I thought, well, at this point, I'm gonna have to take those horrible ones that are really strong and make you constipated and give you pains in the tummy and make things taste funny and all the rest of it. And with only about 12 weeks to go, there is a good chance that I may not get my levels back up, you know, and to go through all that pain, literally, of being constipated is not worth it in pregnancy. So I decided to look into the option of having the iron transfusion. Now the iron transfusion will cover you for 12 weeks or 3 months. So that would have covered me, so the iron transfusion will cover me until the baby is born, and then from then on I can manage it with tablets if I choose to, or, you know, we'll check the levels. She said she will check the levels again when I'm 36 weeks and see how that's going, whether I need to have another one. And the reason being that she's so conscious of my levels is that I'm having an elective cesarean, and I will make a video on why I'm having an elective cesarean this time around. When she told me that I had anemia, I could completely see where, looking back, how that would have been possible, because I have been really struggling with my energy levels, especially in the last month. Like, we went away on a holiday and we came back and I just felt completely exhausted, and just the thought of going for a walk to the park with Honey is like, it's out of the question at the moment. Like, I struggle to walk up hills. I even get puffed out when I'm driving. So to know that there is a reason for it is kind of a huge relief, because I was starting to feel a little bit down that I'd lost my energy, and I was thinking, is it just my motivation? Am I just like, is there something wrong with me? Why can't I just seem to get going for the day. I spoke to my doctor on Friday and she said to call up the clinic and make an appointment. I called them first thing Monday morning and they were able to get me in on Wednesday, which was yesterday, at 8:30 in the morning. So my doctor had said it takes about half an hour, but when I called the clinic they said it takes, allow 2 hours. I went in and they sat me down in a little, they had sort of maybe, I don't know, a hallway with little alcove rooms, and they had these big comfy couches on them. I had a couple of nurses, I think I had 3 nurses and a student nurse. They take your observations, so your temperature and your blood pressure and your heart rate and everything. So I'll actually insert right now, I'll insert a little mini vlog, it's only about a minute. Okay, I made it to the hospital, got 10 minutes, I'm gonna go get my script from the obstetrician and then go into the oncology unit, which is where they do the iron infusions. I don't know, I'm just a bit nervous. My doctor said it would take 15 minutes to half an hour for the actual needle, but when I called up to make the appointment they said it was allow 2 hours. So anyway, I better go because otherwise I'm going to be late, but yeah. Gotta remember to pay for my parking. That wasn't actually as bad as I thought in the end. Yeah, I nearly fainted when they first put the cannula in, which was really embarrassing. They had to give me some orange juice and lay me down and cover up my hand so that I couldn't see it, which is really ridiculous. But so as you can see, I was fairly nervous. Once I got over that cannula, having that cannula in, I got quite comfy. I just was like on my phone, just sitting there. Someone came and offered me a cup of hot tea, or would I like a warm blanket? And I was like, yes please, because it is quite cold in the hospital, and after having that fainty feeling and the cold sweats and everything, like I did start to feel quite cold. So it was really nice that they take care of you in that way. Yeah, so then what happens is I actually had this product called Ferinject. What happens is that I actually was put on a drip. So I had a saline solution added first, and then they add the iron in about 5 minutes later, and that 15 minutes they run through, and then they take your observations again, and then they run it for another 15 minutes. So I'm assuming that if you had it directly, just the iron, it would be 15 minutes on its own, but they kind of mixed it in. And I guess that kind of helps to alleviate any responses, because when I had the saline, just the saline in, I felt totally fine. My arm felt a little bit cold, but that was about it. But when they then added the iron in, I did for that first minute or two get a sort of nauseous feeling. I'm assuming that that feeling would be a lot stronger if I had just been having the iron on its own. Yeah, but that nauseous feeling just passed very quickly. I thought I was going to spew, but like, that feeling, it just went away. So that was all fine. And then, yeah, they stop, they take the needle out, or they take the cannula out. You can sit there for as long as you like if you need to, like, just take your time, but then you can just go. And it didn't cost me anything. I'm assuming that is because it's covered with Medicare and also with my private health. I actually finished up at 10 o'clock, so it only actually took an hour and a half. So they say that it takes 3 to 7 days for you to feel the full effects of the iron in your body, and that the first couple of days you can feel a little bit yucky. I have to admit, yesterday afternoon I was feeling a little bit like cold sweats, almost like clammy, and that's about it though. I'm really looking forward to the next few days to see just how much my energy improves and whether all of that sort of lack of motivation goes away. So if I had been 12 weeks pregnant and had received the result of a level of 7 in my iron, there is no doubt in my mind that I would try to resolve that with taking my tablets more regularly. But I guess because I got those high levels early on in my pregnancy, I somehow decided subconsciously that everything was going to be okay. And now that I'm at 28 weeks with low levels, it makes sense to me to have the iron and transfusion, and then I'm covered. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm probably not the best person with taking tablets anyway, so having the transfusion kind of just takes away all of the risk factors. Because I'm having an elective cesarean and the doctor is concerned, With low iron, there can be certain complications that happen in cesarean operations. So a lot of those are alleviated as well, and it just makes a lot more sense in my current circumstances. Yeah, so just have a little bit of think about your personal situation. You have a chat with your doctor. You may or may not decide to go ahead with the infusion, but it is actually it actually really wasn't that bad. I hope I've covered everything in regards to having an iron infusion and how it works and why you might choose to have an iron infusion over taking tablets and all of that sort of stuff. If you did like this video and you want to see more videos just like this about pregnancy and family life, I talk a lot about slow living as well. I would absolutely love to have you as a subscriber, so please consider doing that. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.